Thank you, everybody, for coming on back to the Riggs Beast channel. As always, let's go beast on that subscribe button. Let's go beast on that like button. And let's go beast on this Monday Night Raw review. The Monday Night Raw after WrestleMania, which came to you from Orlando. They're going to start Raw with the recap of the Taker-Reigns match. The emotional match which led to the retirement of The Undertaker. They start Raw after that. 3 to 4 minutes, not a word is said. They just let the crowd chant, "Thank you, Taker. Thank you, Taker." Then you started getting the mix in of Roman sucks, thank you, Taker. Roman sucks, thank you, Taker. This is 3 to 4 minutes of Raw. No words, just the crowd. Great decision there. Wonderful start. Then Roman Reigns comes out. And if you could predicted this one, I think everybody did. Nuclear heat is not the word for Roman Reigns right now, which it was going to be. The crowd starts with delete chants. Then after that, I believe a fuck you Roman chant started. No joke. I truly believe a fuck you Roman chant started. Then they went back to chanting delete to Roman Reigns. Then they went to you suck. Then they were just booing. Literally every time he held the mic to his mouth, massive boos, and they didn't hide it. They just ran with it. Then they started chanting asshole to him. Then Roman sucks again. Then booing loudly when he went to talk. Another time, this is about 6 minutes in, when he went to talk, they started saying shut the fuck up. They wouldn't let him talk, wouldn't let him say a word. 10 plus minutes. The man stood out there and took a fucking beating from the crowd. Non-stop. Hardcore. And he stood there and took it. And he had a 5-word promo. This is my yard now. That's it. And the fans went fucking crazy. They were out for blood for him. I give him credit for this. And I give WWE credit too. He stood out there and took it. Did the little promo, walked away. They knew it was going to happen. They did this correctly. This is the only time you see Roman. They got it out of the way. Well done, WWE. You still don't know what they're going to do with Roman. They hint at it later, but this is something we all know is going to happen. If you don't know, get a clue about wrestling. But they're continuing it, and they let the fans get it out of their system now. This is going to follow them for a while, but it's not going to be anything like tonight. The actual first match of the night is the Hardys versus Anderson and Gallows, a rematch for the tag team championships for Anderson and Gallows. Now, the reason this is a little late is I wanted to watch a little bit of Raw talk. I saw the Goldberg segment. It was very nice, saying how he did it his first kid, his family. Things, if you've read, you already knew. But I wanted to see if the Hardys came off as broken. They're not. What it's going to be is they're going to recognize it when the crowd chants delete. They'll do the signal for delete. He'll do the facial expressions, maybe say, wonderful. But this is going to be the Hardys. And as disappointed as I am that we're not going to get the full broken gimmick, and we still might down the road. See, this could all be a stalling tactic. Though Reby Sky showed proof that they trademarked this entire thing, WWE could be wise to kind of have them put it on the back burner, still recognize it, put it on the back burner now until this is completely settled. I don't think the Hardys are going to team for very long. 6 months, maybe a year tops. I think they're going to break off. I think they're better as singles competitors long term. I think they could be used to elevate the tag division for now and then break off. I mean, honestly, who wouldn't love a Jeff Hardy AJ Styles match down the road? Who wouldn't love a Matt Hardy Bray Wyatt match down the road? Hardys will be a tag team for a bit. Don't get totally pissed because they're not broken right now. It could never happen. It also could be simply that because there's a lawsuit, they're relaxing a bit and they're waiting for it to go away. But to the match itself, the Hardys dominated most early. Like I said before, it's the Hardys, not the broken gimmick. Matt's going to play into the chants. There was a nice fuck the owl chant. I like that. Good job on the crowd for that one. Anderson Gallows took control going into the break. Anderson and Gallows, they looked like they were going to win with the Boot of Doom. They go for the Magic Killer, but you knew the Hardys weren't losing here. There was no fucking chance. Hardys win. You're going to find out their opponents for Payback, I believe, later in the night. Nice way to start it. Keep the crowd hot. They go to Neville and Mustafa Ali next, and I thought the crowd might die a little bit here. I mean, they're never going to die. The crowds after Mania never die, but I really thought they might get a little bored. They entertain themselves. Beach balls, chants. They entertain themselves. It starts, though, with Neville boasting about his win. Said at 205 Live there'll be a proper celebration. Mustafa Ali got a lot of offense early to showcase himself. Now, in typical fashion with WWE, this Raw was not perfect. In typical WWE fashion, about 2 minutes in, commercial break. Now, what they did do for this match out of the break, though, is they allowed this match to be phenomenal towards the end. Coming out, though, Neville was dominating the offense. There was something going on in the crowd during this match. I don't know. It took away from it. It really did. It was hard to keep attention on the match when the crowd's all looking over somewhere else. You found out it was the beach ball. When this match started getting good, like I said, towards the end, Mustafa Ali, one of the craziest Spanish flies off the top rope I have ever seen. It was fucking insane. It gets a 2 count. Eventually, Neville's going for a suplex. It's reversed into a satellite DDT. Great fucking moves here. They let Mustafa Ali look great. Neville plays like he's going to go for the red arrow, gets down, puts the ring as a Saturn. Neville wins. Not surprising. Very good match towards the end there for those guys. Surprise here, Vince McMahon pulls up in a limo. Vince is going to have a segment. Are you really that surprised? Vince was on the Raw after Mania. The first thing these fans do after singing his theme song is they start chanting loudly, Roman sucks at him. He won't recognize it. They were vitriol with how much they were chanting this. Vince starts by thanking the audience, thanking them for everything. You were waiting for bad news here. You didn't really get it, but you were waiting for it once he started thanking everybody. That is not Vince McMahon. He mentions a superstar shakeup. So it's not going to be a draft. Or maybe it is. They didn't really explain much. They just had both GMs, which we announced a new GM in about a minute. And starting next week, which means it's going to be multiple weeks. I'm interested to see how they're going to do it. Maybe they're not going to do a draft entirely. My whole theory now about Shinsuke Nakamura, which, by the way, Nakamura does not debut tonight, which I think is the right decision, going after AJ Styles for a SmackDown promo and having a rivalry with him before AJ moves to Raw. Now I'm not so sure that's going to happen, but I would still debut Nakamura on SmackDown. SmackDown needs performers. But let's get to the main point of Vince's segment. He then talks about the tragic event that happened at Mania. You think it's going to be Taker? Nah, it's Stephanie going through a table. Crowd is going nuts chanting yes. Vince says they're out for blood or you guys are heartless, and they keep chanting yes. He's playing to it. He knows what he's doing. Vince is amazing on a mic. Vince goes, it's time to name a new GM. He's in the Hall of Fame. Teddy Long comes out. This shit was fucking hilarious. He's yelling at Teddy, stop dancing. Teddy, stop that. Teddy Long. He looks at him. Stop dancing. You're not the new GM. In typical R-Truth fashion, Teddy goes, well, oh, my bad. It's Kurt Angle. The least kept secret that Kurt Angle is going to be back on TV. Kurt Angle is your new GM. Vince talks about Stephanie being away for a while, which is a welcome sight. No Stephanie McMahon. Kurt Angle's the only guy there. Let the wrestlers be the front. So the New Day has an open challenge next. I put on Twitter that I thought it'd be the Revival. I wanted it to be the Revival. It was the Revival. Now, if these guys are booked right, just like in NXT, they will be an instant hit because they can get over as true fucking badasses. But they do have a back and forth match with the New Day. From beginning to end is back and forth. Nobody had true dominance in the match. Revival does what they do, though. They always go after the partner, keep you singled. Just little nuances of heel tag team wrestling for them that are perfect. They eventually catch Xavier Woods in the Shatter Machine 1, 2, 3. They then grab Kofi after the match. They twist his legs. Dash jumps off the second rope onto Kofi's knee, just like they did to DIY. They're going to hurt people. That's their goal. They kick ass, and they hurt people. The Raw Tag Team division in the last 24 hours got a hell of a lot more interesting. And finally, there's some interest in the Raw Tag Team division with the Hardys and the Revival. Angle, Enzo, and Cass have a segment backstage. This is his first as GM. Enzo does his shtick with how you doing. Angle acts like it's real questions, which was kind of funny. Enzo wants to know why they don't have gold and why Goofy's treated like a human and Pluto a dog. Again, they did the comedy. They did the realism. He eventually puts Enzo and Cass and Sheamus and Cesaro in a title contender match. They walk out. My last thing was, please mention that the way they spell soft isn't correct. Because like I said, the entire shtick was done. He looks at the camera and goes, that's not how you spell soft. For those of you who don't know Kurt Angle or haven't watched him wrestle, which at this point, I almost think is nobody, he not only was great in the ring, performer, the man just has comedy gold and can legitimately make you laugh with just a look. So next we have a 6-woman tag match, which to be honest with you, I don't like a lot of these 6-person tag matches. I really wasn't interested in this one, but Emma, oh my fucking God. Emma finally returned, legitimately. It's over. It's done. Emma finally is back. Finally. The troll job is over. Anyway, it was Emma, Nia, Charlotte versus Sasha, Dana Brooke, and Bayley. It was quick. Sasha made Charlotte tap for the win. Nia eventually beats up Charlotte because Charlotte's mad nobody saved her. There was no heel turn yet. You could tell it's coming. If you saw the celebration, Sasha looked a little pissed off. You can tell it's coming. Next, Sami Zayn's having a weird segment with Angle. Sometimes they make him look like an idiot. They really do. Anyway, this whole point of this, Kurt Angle says that Sami Zayn has all the 3 eyes. Jinder Mahal comes in. Now you have Jinder Mahal versus Sami Zayn later in the night. I'll get to that later. God damn Jinder Mahal. Next, Brock Lesnar comes out. Now, the speculation here was who was going to come out? Was this going to be Finn Balor, Shinsuke Nakamura, Roman Reigns? Well, Heyman starts by telling a bedtime story about a superhero called Goldberg. This is basically a borderline recap of Lesnar winning at WrestleMania. Says now he's looking for new challenges and new challengers. He teases Seth Rollins. He teases Matt Hardy. He teases Jeff Hardy. He teases both Hardys. You got to delete chant. Don't worry about that. Then gets to Reigns by saying the 2 behind 23-2 due to history must meet to determine whose yard it really is. We're going to go with this yard thing, folks. This yard thing is here to stay. God damn it. Now, if you don't know that Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns are heading for a collision course down the road, you need to get a clue about wrestling. They don't put that win on Roman just to have nothing happen. The 2 guys who beat Taker, they're going to face, and it's going to be in a big environment. Heyman goes on to say that if Reigns is the big dog, Lesnar is animal cruelty and that they should make history. They should do it tonight. Of course, this was a tease. Braun Strowman comes out. Gonna admit, the stare down looked pretty sick between the 2. It did look good now that they have built Strowman. Strowman backed away, says we'll do it on my time. Strowman says that when he's done with Reigns, he hopes that Lesnar has his attention because Lesnar damn sure has his, and points to the Universal title. I did like the stare down. It did look good. Nothing really happened other than that with these 2. Next, they have a backstage segment with Chris Jericho. They also announced Jericho and Owens' rematch of Payback, the first official match announced. Owens and Joe attack Jericho, take him out of the match. I wonder why they did this. Next, Enzo and Cass versus Sheamus and Cesaro to determine the number 1 contender for the tag team titles. I assume this match will happen at Payback. Also, to be honest, between the Hardys now and the Revival, it is hard for these guys to get even this Mania crowd into it. I don't blame them. They weren't really into it. Their main thing was chanting for Sheamus and Cesaro, which was kind of funny. The way Enzo and Cass have been booked, I'm not surprised. Fans like them, but they're starting to drift. Little bit surprising here, Sheamus and Cesaro win. I really, really believe now they might be going to SmackDown, Enzo and Cass. And it would make a lot of sense now with the Revival there on Raw, the Hardys, Sheamus and Cesaro, the New Day. Enzo and Cass would make a lot of sense to go to SmackDown. They really would. So with this loss, it makes me think in the next couple weeks, Enzo and Cass are getting moved. We got Jinder Mahal versus Sami Zayn. Let me say this real quick about Jinder motherfucking steroids Mahal. Somehow, every week, this man has more veins popping out. Week by damn week by damn week. At some point, he's going to be made of more vein spots than actual skin. It is ridiculous. Literally, the needles have got to be poking somewhere out of this man's trunks. How? Fucking how is he not a walking violation? Somebody's either pissing for him, taking blood for him, or they just don't give a fuck because he's Jinder Mahal. But there's no fucking way that man is not roided to the gills. Every time he has a match, I'm afraid of roid rage. I'm afraid he's going to kill somebody. He looked like he had roid rage on Sami Zayn when he was coming out. In fact, that's the first thing I said to myself. Oh, there goes roid rage on Sami Zayn. He might kill him. Anyway, the match didn't matter. Sami Zayn wins. Let's get to the main event. Kevin Owens and Samoa Joe versus Seth Rollins and a mystery tag team partner. I will give you all exactly 3 seconds to figure out who that man was. Congratulations, you guessed it, Finn Balor. Finn Balor's back. Great to see him. I still kind of felt like something else had to happen tonight, though. Just this tag match felt a little flat. Great to see Balor. Do not get me wrong. Very happy the man's back. But really felt like something else was needed here. Like, that's really how we're going to end this, just Finn Balor's back and they win? All through the match, you're kind of thinking, is a heel turn coming? Are they forming the new NWO, the new evolution we all talked about? I think that's dead, guys. I think that is 100% dead. I don't know if it was nixed or if it was just a troll job, or I don't know, but I believe that is 100% dead, and that's what I'm going with moving forward. Rollins versus Joe has to happen at Payback. Absolutely has to. Was the only real focus of the match other than Balor. Other key moments of the match. Rollins is selling the knee injury after the dive onto Owens and Joe over the top rope. The match was decent back and forth. Balor pins Owens after a coup de grace for the win. That's really it. Like, nothing else in this match of major significance happened. So like I said, it was great to see him, but it kind of left you feeling like this is where we're going here. This is the end of this Raw. Like, it did come up a little flat. Payback is looking like a good pay-per-view. You got to assume. Rollins and Joe. Hardys and Sheamus and Cesaro. Kevin Owens and Jericho. Are we going to have a Universal Championship match? We may not at Payback. We may not even have that at Payback. So you may get Roman Reigns and Braun Strowman in the main event. That's what we've got so far. But all in all, the Monday Night Raw after WrestleMania is usually good. That's why I don't get too overhyped. I don't go too crazy about how great it was, because it's usually good. The crowd can make a bad show good, or usually a good show great. So my challenge for Monday Night Raw is, okay, you gave us a great Raw after WrestleMania, and it's an 8 out of 10. That's what I'm going to give it, an 8 out of 10. It was a great show. Can we get an 8 out of 10 next week, or are we going to go through the same routine? Great Raw after WrestleMania, okay Raw the week after, meh the week after, and then back to the shit show that it normally is every week. Can we get more than 1 or 2 consecutive good Raws? We'll see about next week. We'll see about the week after. I'm really excited for SmackDown tomorrow because now we've got a SmackDown Live that may have a similar cloud to Mania. Can we get Nakamura? Can we get DIY perhaps? Can we get Ty Dillinger? Many questions. I'll be back here tomorrow for SmackDown. But as for tonight, that is the end of your Monday Night Raw after WrestleMania review. So as always, let's go beast on that subscribe button. Let's go beast on that like button. And as always, guys, keep it beast.